Hello, John McConnin here. This is a part of our series on short sales. Here we'll discuss the tax consequences. Let's review that after a short sale or a foreclosure, the banks are supposed to send out a 1099. That doesn't mean they have to, and if you read by law, I don't think they do, but they claim they do, and they do anyway. Also, when you're filling out your taxes, you are supposed to report forgiven debt. So you'd have to figure out how to classify this as not forgiven debt. There are ways to do that. I've helped people do that. It's not something we want to discuss right now. But if you're aggressive with your taxes, there's a way around. There may be a way around that, especially if you work with a lawyer and you dispute the validity of the debt. But here, let's review the fact that there's mortgage debt forgiveness acts, both federal and state. The federal one, I think, is slated to expire in a couple years. The state, California state, in 2012. So right now, if you're dealing with a principal residence and your original debt levels, you should be able to exclude the 1099 from your income, or you may be able to exclude. Is a better way to say it. You want to look at Form 982. If it's not your principal residence or it's not your original debt, it gets far more complicated. And let's say that you might be able to turn it in. You should talk with your tax preparer because they've got to be on board with this. But you've got to talk with one who also understands the law. So am I saying you need to speak with an attorney who does taxes? Maybe. Certainly an experienced tax preparer, not, more than just a guy with a CPA in front of his name or, I don't know. You need an experienced person. That's what I'm saying. And you need to do your taxes, and you have to consider whether, if you rented it out, did you turn it into a business? Did you take depreciation? How are you what's the best way for you to deal with the taxes there? And there is also an argument, and I discuss this with my clients, and they're smarter tax preparers if they want to hire one. We discuss saying that if these are non-recourse loans, that this should be considered a capital gain instead of income. And in those circumstances, when you look at it as a capital gain, there are capital gain exclusion rules that if you've owned the property, lived in the property for 2 of the last 5 years, you can write off $250,000 as an individual or $500,000 as a couple. There's lots of ways to play it. There's lots of ways to set up the file, but you should be setting up the file well ahead of time so you can deal with the tax consequences. That's I'm going to make a separate page for this video. Feel free to write questions at the end of it. Thanks, John McConnin. I'm an attorney and a real estate broker. FavoriteRealEstate.com, underwaterrealestate.com, and UpsideDownRealEstate.com.